Going full send, baby.
Send.
Who do you think is like the most influential nerd person? Or not even most influential, just like, who do you think is... I don't really know what the term is, but it's like, okay, today we're going to be talking pretty fucking consistently about Felicia Day.
Yeah.
Who, in the second half of our programming today, actually, no, this entire way through reminds us that there is a point in time on the internet when she ran everything. She was gone. Ran Geek and Sundry pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, has a full OC, her own OC in fucking Dragon Age. Had a web series from that OC. Ran the Guild, which is one of the biggest web series to ever be made.
Yeah.
Is pretty much like the biggest, like arguably one of the biggest nerd creators ever. But then you also have, like, you know, Nathan Fillion is in everything. Was in, like, the lead of Firefly, and then is in, like, a million fan projects.
I think
was in, like,
that's different.
The biggest Nathan Drake fucking... Well, because he came from
I think it's different
TV.
because Nathan Fillion's thing is that he's like a Summer Glau kind of thing where he became known as like a nerd figure because of an iconic role that he played, and then his career trajectory sort of followed a path based on that.
Sure.
Felicia Day started as a gaming creator, started as a nerd creator, and built like an influential empire, like literally off of making that content.
All
like
right.
She didn't get famous from like a random nerd role and then get like assigned as being like, you're a fandom person now.
Yeah, she is the thing. Okay, I'll hit you back with this. Is she the most influential nerd person to exist? Because
currently?
It's like, you can... Not currently. Here's
Not
the thing, though.
currently,
Because you can talk like, okay, it's probably one of the big Minecraft streamers. But I'm going to say, I don't think they have the same... Because they may be more popular. They might have their toys in shops. And maybe they're a household name. Felicia Day is just built different. Like, is just... I would say possible... I mean, it's not even... I would say Markiplier comes closest, but only because he is a streamer, a Let's Play streamer, who then went on to make short films and media like that. But he isn't Felicia Day.
He is the only person that whose name I do know from that kind of circle. But he is... The thing with Felicia Day is that she was not only able to kind of cement herself, but then she also created Geek and Sundry, which I think, I mean, Geek and Sundry is the platform that spawned like the popularity of actual play. Like there's, I feel like you can't, like, Critical Role's
our careers are because Felicia Day existed.
Like, it can't be understated that is where that came from. And like, I don't know what a phenomenon. I truly,
and I also don't think
like
anyone can do that again.
I don't think so. No,
I think
it was a product
of its time.
Started
in 2006, else you would not. Else it's just not the same. And I think,
correct.
I think she's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Watching that web series, I felt like I was like, this can only exist at this time period, and Felicia Day is the only person that can have this happen. Yeah. Like no one else. And you know what? If you spoke to someone that was like 60, like a real ingrained nerd kid who was 16 nowadays, they would have no idea who Felicia Day was. And I think that's insane.
I know.
Truly, I think she will be taught in schools in like 20 years. It's like, no. Most shit that you do on the internet is because that she was there. I know.
It's like there's an era that occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's wild. Hi, my name is Robin. I've finished one Dragon Age game.
And I'm Dillin. I've played every Dragon Age game 1,000 times.
Hello. Welcome to Dorkspawn. We this week did the Mark of the Assassin DLC, and then we watched, not 2 hours ago, Redemption, the web series Redemption. The most sci-fi original series shit to ever exist. Truly.
Yeah.
What?
It's I'm just saying it is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I hadn't seen it since it came out, and so I thought it was really truly going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
It's like watching old episodes of Xena. It's like it is it's a 2010 web series starring Felicia Day. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Considering that I didn't know what it was until you clicked play 2 hours ago, because you wouldn't tell me anything about it. And then, so I was like, okay, you're a dirty cheater who Googles things. And
the big machinima.com logo appeared, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then Felicia Day appeared, and I was like, I'm in for a Felicia Day web series for the next hour. Hell yeah, let's get it. This is where we are.
Before we get into Mark of the Assassin or Redemption, I have a question from one of our dedicated audience members that I need to address because I think it brought up a good point. So this is from Sloan, our good friend. Basically, Sloan asked that in the last 2 episodes, it seems like there's an overarching theme of the Dragon Age games that all of the games following Origins have not been able to live up to the quality of it. And Sloan asked if we would agree that that's accurate, that 2 and 3 don't manage to fulfill what Origins was able to do. And brought up that, like, it kind of, like, unlike our episodes around Origins, we're being quite negative.
We're being exceedingly critical.
And we have been quite negative. And I think that in the last episode, I want to say that although I think that all of the complaints about 2 in general are super valid, and I do agree with them, I think I neglected to talk about the fact that I actually think Act 2 is my favorite act of the game, and that it's like maybe like one of the best parts of the series. And I really I want to try to not on my, for me, I'm going to try not to be so negative, because I think that it is still a really good game. And the thing is that I think for 2 in particular, the failings are all so very they're all so clearly crunch fails, because it is truly so impressive how great all of these characters are and how great this story is for 13 months. It's just that the game of it all is not able. It just is an unfinished mechanic. Mechanically, it's an unfinished game, and so that's super disappointing. But I just kind of wanted to put that out there, because I don't think I really said in the last episode.
I do agree. I think I am particularly negative with this game, but I'm negative, as I said in Act 1 of this of Dragon Age 2. I am being negative because everything is so good that when it does stumble, it's upsetting how much it stumbles.
Yeah.
And there are also a lot of failings for Origins for me. But I think in Origins, all of the stumbles are things that I'm like, yeah, it's like their first time, and also it's about the same quality as everything else. Like, I really do like the combat in Origins because I just think the combat is better in Origins. But also, I did get bored with it, like, often, and I got frustrated at times and stuff like that. Not nearly as close as I do in 2, but the problem with a lot of 2 is that I just give me the characters talking, please, because it's
the best part of the game.
It's so good. Yeah. I've mentioned there's been bits in this where I have, particularly with this DLC, I actually wrote this down, and it's not part of the story at all. I just thought it was really cute. Florence, my hawk, and Varric had a whole conversation as they were like trekking through the fields, where Hawk was disappointed that she doesn't have a nickname, or like that Varric doesn't have a nickname for her. And he's like, well, I call you Hawk. And she's like, yeah, but that's my name, and it's not Daffodil, and it's not like Daisy, or, or Blondie, or anything like that. And he's like, do you want a nickname? She's like, yeah, I want a nickname. It's like, I fucking love these characters, man. They're so good. And it's like, the writing is so superior than Origins that I will put Origins in the bin forever for the Dragon Age 2 writing. But it was made in 14 months. That's all it is. And when it comes to a lot of dev cycles, so one of the other biggest game that I always think of that had the first game happen, it was a huge hit, and then made a second game that came out in like a year and a bit, is Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is so different. Left 4 Dead is exclusively mechanical, pretty much. Right. It has story, and it's so charming. And it's true. It truly is, for people who don't know. If you want to get, you and 3 friends and like have an absolute blast killing zombies for a bit with, some absolutely killer characters, Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 are fucking amazing. And Left 4 Dead 2 is pretty vastly superior to Left 4 Dead 1, but the reason why it is because it's the same engine, the same basic mechanical gameplay loop, just different characters, different setting, and then they improve on a bunch of other things, which is why it works in that case, because they spent a year and a half being like, okay, everyone's playing our game, what works, what doesn't, let's change mechanically, stuff like that, and then add some new characters, and then, give them all charming dialogue and whatnot. But Dragon Age 2 overhauls their entire mechanical system in a way that, in Episode 1, one of the first things I say is, man, combat feels fucking good in this game. In the prologue, it feels awesome because it's new, and yes, I'm one-shotting everything, and that feels really cool, and I'm doing cool shit like that. But then when you're not one-shotting everything and it's just endless enemies, it's like, okay, I'm fed up with this now. I would rather just have cool shit happen. I would rather be overpowered, please. However, I will say, people would be glad to know, this is the best boss fight in the entire series.
This whole far. DLC, I think, is great.
I do think it's very good. Yeah. So you go inside of your manor.
Yep.
We're going to talk about Assassin first, right?
Assassin first, for sure.
You go into your manor. You go over to the special DLC chamber room that you have, and you click Mark of the Assassin. Then it is Varric and Cassandra again. It cuts to them to
Varric getting yelled at again.
Yeah.
That he's hiding something again.
Which he is, of course.
Of course,
and he's
absolutely
like, okay,
is.
fine. I can't remember what they're arguing about at this point.
She just says that there was something that could have led to the conflict between.
Very good. Yeah.
It might have been something that would lead to the conflict between the Qunari and that we could have prevented it. Like the Seekers could have prevented it if we knew about it, but. But you were apparently involved, and the champion was involved, or whatever. And you're not telling us about it. I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
And then,
And then Varric's like, well, I'll tell you the whole story again. We got an invitation to meet with this guy about this job, who's an old friend of Varric's. we go out into Hightown at nighttime. Oh, so spooky.
Ooh.
And then a bunch of vagabonds turn up. And they're like, hey, we're actually gonna fight and kill you. All.
Yeah. It's Antivan Crows. It
is the Antivan Crows.
It's the fucking Antivan Crows. Which is what our old buddy...
buddies Everin
so many moons ago was a part of. So the Antivan Crows are kicking around.
And then, before the fight starts, there's a Batman-esque kapow, pew, 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 and then backflipping over a rooftop, killing several guards, is Felicia Day.
Felicia Day.
Yes. Is it Talus? Yes. However, it has Felicia Day's whole face.
Unbelievable.
And the greatest rendered boobs in the entire game so
Unreal.
far. It's
Who
hideous.
did she pay? Who, I cannot understand.
Nothing. This game was made in 2011. This is Felicia Day. She owned every single person. Someone's like, wait a minute. I get to put Felicia Day in a game, and I'm working on a fantasy, as like a fantasy adventure. Cool. I'm gonna make her pay attention to me, please. So I'm going to give her the greatest crafted boobs in this entire game.
I want to do a little bit of a deep cut for I don't know, probably at most 3 people who will listen to this. But back when I was still doing Femsplained with Avalon, one of the episodes that we did back then was Avalon explaining the show Supernatural to me.
Yeah.
And I remember that when she explained Supernatural to me, she got to the part where Felicia Day becomes like a guest regular kind of thing. And I recall her being like, it just was so weird that she, in every scene, I didn't know, like Avalon did not know who Felicia Day was outside of this, but every time she appeared on screen in Supernatural, the way her character entered the scene was that like you were supposed to think she was the coolest person on earth. And I never watched Supernatural. Rewatching this, I was like, oh,
yeah.
It's
honestly, I'm going to be honest. Talus in this whole thing, I'm going to go so far as to say can only be described as a little bit cringe. Like, it's too... too much, dude. She's always the coolest, snarkiest.
That's what it is.
Best
She's
person
so
in the whole
cool.
world. She does shit, and then everyone's like, "Wow!" It turns out that she's the coolest person ever. You get to flirt with her at your discretion, and she always has something to say. She has zero flaws.
Flirty.
She's always right. It's fucking Felicia Day.
But as like, I think that it really does work as like a guest NPC in a video game thing where she's just like, hello, I'm the coolest assassin you'll ever meet. Come with me if you want to live, kind of thing. And like, she just is like,
sure.
Yeah. Like so you don't get
she, I guess she's not the only guest companion that we have in the series.
In the series? No, we get...
I mean, when I say that, I'm not talking like Awakening. I'm not talking like people who you have with you for like a mission. I'm talking like this is a DLC. This DLC, the point of this DLC is you have a companion who is Felicia Day.
Yeah.
Like that's what the DLC is. It's like, do you have another?
No, I think that it happens on a smaller scale, but not like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have like. Yeah. Okay.
No, this is truly an anomaly.
Of course it is, because it's Felicia Day in 2011. She's the biggest person in the whole world.
So we've got so Talus comes with you for the rest of this DLC, and we've got to talk to a man, Duke Prosper. Is wrong.
It does begin with P.
It does begin with a P.
You are correct about that. Ooh.
Something. Duke Prosper is what I'm going with. So the Duke sends us on...
it is Prosper. That's crazy.
Is it literally Prosper?
It's literally Prosper.
I really thought I was mispronouncing a French
that's
word.
Crazy.
But he's gonna send us on a wyvern hunt, which
specifically in Orlais.
In Orlais,
huge.
Which
the first time we've gone to Orlais in any game. Yeah, really pretty cool. The only downside, everyone is French, and you have to deal with that for a couple hours, and it's
Orlais is fantasy France.
Yeah,
it's where the love of my life, Liliana,
I know,
is from.
Now, interesting, fascinating. We have to talk about this. Mm-hmm. So, first things first, Felicia Day comes to you and is like, "Hey, I'm trying to steal the heart of the many. It's a jewel, and it's in this specific." In Chateau Haine in Orlais. So you go there and then you meet, this Prosper guy who is setting up a whole thing, wyvern hunt, whoever is able to hunt this wyvern successfully. It's like everyone is doing it. You're rewarded for being there because you are the champion of Kirkwall, and everyone's like, oh my god, I'm the fucking champion of Kirkwall.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like a cool show of like, oh, if you're able to get the wyvern, then you are the coolest guy in the world. Anyway, okay, jumping ahead a little bit because you've already mentioned it, so let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
Liliana killed herself.
Correct.
But she's alive and well and in Orlais.
Yeah, she's a spy in Orlais.
Tell me about it. How come she didn't kill herself? What's wrong with that?
She did kill herself. Liliana is a lyrium ghost.
Are you fucking with me?
No.
I don't believe you. I so don't believe you. That it's crazy.
No, Liliana is a lyrium ghost. In the same way that Wynn is being held alive by a spirit.
Liliana is just being held alive by a spirit?
Yeah. My spirit, her faith was so strong.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow.
I know.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So they kept that in, but they didn't let Anders not be a Grey Warden. How fucking dare they do that to me?
Yeah, so she's there as a spy. Liliana shows up in this DLC.
Yeah, she does. There's actually a fair few Origins characters that turn up.
Yeah.
People who you know from previous adventures. Yeah.
Yeah. Some more interesting and wonderful than others.
All right, we'll come back to that. We'll circle hard back around to that, I guess. So, it's a heist movie. This DLC is a heist movie.
Yes.
You're pretending to go somewhere and being a fancy noble exclusively so that your friend can break in and then steal the heart of the many. Mm-hmm. When hunting the wyvern, which is first...
right.
There is... so, you meet Prosper, Duke Prosper, and he has with him a, human guy who is in, a specific religious group, right? Yeah, is it a chastened?
Chastened.
Chastened?
Chastened.
Yeah. Chastened. Yeah. Who are, people that are essentially, Dalish elves, but are people. They are, a free tribe, right? Is that correct?
They're free wandering human beings. They're nomadic humans. They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you bring with you? Because you can't change when you go in. It's you pick at the start and then
Yeah. I had Varric, Meryl, and my love, Fenris.
You didn't bring Talus with you?
Well, that's who I started it with, and then and then I traded. When you meet Talus, you have to bring Talus with you.
Yeah, it's strange though because there is an achievement that says, defeat Duke Prosper with or without Talus.
That's only so you have
Oh, I understand why it says that, because of a later thing that happens later. I'm an idiot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had Varric, Talis, and Bethany, because you could bring Bethany along.
How fun.
Yeah.
When it was time to switch out, I had
Fenris. Not Fenris.
Not Fenris, yeah. I figured he would be mad at me.
Yeah. But at this point, because I had Bethany with me, I realized that we are at max friendship. I don't know how that happened, because she was pretty pissed to see me at the end of Act 2, and then I picked her up, and then we just had max friendship. She had been brought along
weird,
from the Mage Circle, and she was just in Orlais, and then she was like, "Hi there, Hawk." And I was like, "Hello, sister. Let's go hang out for a bit." And then we hung out, and she had a lot of cool things to say. We were chatting the whole time. She was like, "So, champion of Kirkwall, that's pretty big news." I'm like, "Yeah, baby. How's the Circle Tower?" She's like, "Bad, but we'll talk about that later." And I was like, "No, okay." Which is fun.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah. I don't really remember anything about what later Act 3 Bethany is about.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Damn.
So you go and you find different things to hunt this wyvern. You are coming across a whole bunch of nobles who don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I found a guy who had a giant wheel of cheese that had crushed him, and he had died.
That's gonna come back around. Believe it or not.
Interesting. Do you know what's so weird? I wrote it down because I was like, this feels like a bit. This feels like something that's relevant for later. So I'm going to write this down.
Good.
And then you do all these things. I did every quest that you could do here. I saved a guy. They introduced these weird little goblins as enemies in Orlais, which are fine. I like their design. And then you find the wyvern. You kill the wyvern. And then a guy comes up to you and is like, "Hey, that was my fucking kill. I spent a lot of money for this to be my kill. I'm supposed to be the one that everyone is impressed with hunting the wyvern." And I was like, sure there, buddy. Okay. What was your reaction to this as he started yelling and screaming at you?
Guy screaming at me?
No, after killing the wyvern?
No.
No way. That's strange. Yeah, this guy is like, he's really mad at you for stealing his kill. He's another noble. And then the Duke comes up to you and is like, what is going on here? And he's like, "This lady, she stole my kill." That's my French accent. Thank you very much.
Perfect, actually.
Thank you. And then I was like, well, I mean, I killed it first. It's clear. And then the Duke is like, well, I mean, it's yours to do with this man who's yelling at you is yours to deal with how you want to deal with. And Tanis is like, yeah, I mean, we should just leave him. And I'm like, how about I just beat him to death instead? So I did. I killed this noble.
Oh my god! I must have just breezed past that. I did.
That's crazy. I thought this was a huge decision, because Talis brings it up later a few times of being like, that didn't need to happen. And I was like, yeah, but he's gonna fuck us over later, right? We're here to be. We don't want someone like nipping at our heels this whole time. So fuck it, I'll just kill him.
Oh yeah, I just sort of like breezed through that, and I definitely didn't kill him.
Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I killed this guy. This random noble dude. And then after you do the hunt, it's time for a party. And it's just a fancy nobleman's party.
Yeah.
That's where you meet the love of your life, Liliana.
And your Hawk has like an invitation too, like a formal invitation to the party.
It's like a big deal that you're there because you're the champion of Kirkwall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which they mention a bunch. So this DLC is so cemented, like in between Act 2 and Act 3. Because everyone's talking about, oh my god, what a fucking hero you are.
So, fun fact, you actually can play at any time, and that the reason why you're invited changes. If you
mad.
If you play it at Act 1, you're invited I forget why. There's a whole different reason why you're invited. It's been a really long time since I played it that early, but I know that it's a different reason.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's so weird.
I know
that happens. Just because they keep mentioning how they keep mentioning how important you are, and oh my god, it's so wonderful that you did this, and you are the champion. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So there's in this dinner party, the goal. Talus is like, I need to get into the vault, but this room is locked, and I've ruined two very good lockpicks on it. So let's just find the key. Someone's got to have it. So then you go around, and you're talking to all the nobles, and you're like chatting them all up, and you're just playing this fun little game of. Talking to everyone, and you meet lots of people. You meet. I do have my notes. Do specifically say there are too many French people here.
So many French people.
Everyone is, and they are so French as well.
They're so
it's
French.
Like it's a little obnoxious.
It's barely audible.
Yeah, truly.
all of the French people, all of the chevaliers.
Yes.
From Orlais, from Val Royeaux, are so French and so difficult to understand all the time. You didn't bring Isabella, did you?
No, I didn't have a chance to. Because you have to. I'm reading that you have to do another quest. You would
have to have gotten Isabella back into your party before doing it, and we wouldn't have had that available.
Yeah.
But we both had Varric there, so at the party we find a copy of Part 2 in his series, Hard in Hightown, which is a erotic novel about you and all of your adventures.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a fictionalized version of your lives plus sexual life.
Oh god, that's so good. I did not know that.
Yeah. It's very good.
Varric, my favorite guy in the world.
Oh, he's the best guy.
So
a lot of codexes that you find in like a lot of like paintings and stuff, stuff and books. And
companion character has like a set of things to find here if you bring them along, which I think is a fun way of like, because then it's not like, you know, in Legacy it's like if you bring Anders along then you get special shit. It's like it doesn't matter who you bring along, they're gonna get something special.
Everybody has like a thing to find, like the Hard in Hightown and
in the fancy party is Liliana, who we love. It's so funny because Hawk does not know who they are. And you just kind of casually say like 2 or 3 lines. Talus knows who they are. Mm-hmm. And they talk because they've slept together, it seems like.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Well, no, for me.
No.
Because
the love of your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because I didn't do that, Felicia Day's OC did sleep with Liliana, so it's in the canon that happened.
Yeah.
You also meet Tegan. You meet Tegan
in the second of 3 of his absolute worst aging renderings of all time.
Yeah,
he's looking a little rough, my poor Tegan.
You also meet Lord Cyril, who is also someone from Origins.
Is he in Origins again? What was his deal?
He is. Oh, he's not. He's not. I thought he was. Oh, that's crazy. He's not. He is in Trespasser though.
Okay. That makes sense.
For some reason, they said the name, and I was like, I know that name. And it must be from the time I played Inquisition, because I think he's in Inquisition as well. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of made it up in my mind. But you meet him, as well as like 2 or 3 other people. You keep attempting to lure people, like guards and servants. You are like luring them into a back room. Talus is doing like a flirty little like, oh my god, how about you get naked and then I'm gonna steal the keys from you. Mm-hmm. But then every single time she tries, she comes out and she's like, no one has the keys. This is crazy. Your hawk does have fun things to say every single time, which I think is really neat.
It's really good.
She's flirting with someone in like behind a locked door, and you can like hear them, and someone passes you, and your hawk just like in passing says something. Hawk is so charming in this act. This is definitely a like, you know, this is the fun little.
Hawk gets to be really snarky and really fun and charming,
because the stakes are pretty low in this one, so it's just like, yeah, they're doing a heist movie, so Hawk is now the most charming person ever, regardless of your previous decisions. Even though I did do Red a lot, because I was like, yeah, they're bad in social situations.
Yeah.
Like, so they don't really know how to do this. But then Talus at some point is like, hey, can you turn it on? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was just very like sweet and charming to everyone.
Who did you bring who'd you bring to the party besides, you said Varric and who else?
Bethany.
What was Bethany's thing? Because Meryl doesn't have anything.
What do you mean? As in like things to find?
Like a personal quest thing? Like
it's just finding pictures.
Meryl doesn't have one.
Oh, I thought everyone did. R.I.P. in pieces. Yeah, it's just finding these pictures around the place. It's like, it's really not. Oh yeah, no. So she doesn't. That's
but it has like a lore. It usually it has like a little. It has like a tie to them.
Yeah, it's like I got a little. I was taken out of this DLC by the fact that it's literally Felicia Day's OC. That it's like I didn't really buy into a lot of things happening because okay,
she's so
charming. She's
cool
so cool
all
and hot
the time.
And she has great boobs, and everyone loves her. And she slept with Liliana, and she able to kill a Wyvern. And
cannot believe how she slept with everyone.
And it's so cool, actually, that she did this.
Honestly,
and it's like she's kind of like she's like a rogue. She's like an evil, like kind of like villainous rogue. But oh my god, she's a heart of gold, and will always do the good thing, and all this shit.
Yeah, it's very funny, and if I had the opportunity to put an OC in Dragon Age in 2011,
you're gonna do this.
Yeah, I would have absolutely made
because
this
the thing
character
is like
100%.
This DLC isn't Felicia Day going to BioWare and saying, "Hey, I have an OC." This is BioWare going to Felicia Day and saying, "Hey, do you want us to make a whole DLC based on your character?"
I want to throw up. I would kill anyone I know. I would kill you in a heart.
And that's it. We talked about this earlier. She is the most influential nerd person
ever. For a
ever.
time, she was God.
For like 5 years, she could do anything she wanted. She had the biggest. She had the biggest web show of all time. Dragon Age came to her and said, "Hey, do you want your OC to be in this thing?" And then she's in Supernatural, and people don't know who she is, but her character dies like 2 or 3 times, keeps coming back, and then ends up, spoiler for Supernatural, she is Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Like, that's like the twist of her fucking character. She's so special, unique, and magical.
Oh my god. My god, how
she
delightful.
She has arguably the greatest life of all time.
Oh my goodness.
And then she made Do You Want to Date My Avatar, which I had on loop as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid. I'm on Felicia Day's fucking IMDb page now.
All right. Well, all right. Let's go.
I know. Because we're going back to it.
There's so much more to say about Felicia Day when we get to the second part of this episode. I don't want us to burn out on all of the things we can say about Felicia Day.
So Felicia Day's character is the most, and it took me out of it, unfortunately, so I didn't really get a lot of the lore drops.
All right. Well, did you like the puzzles? I want to know if you like the puzzles, because I am...
Yeah, I didn't get it because it was really very simple. So I was like,
yeah,
it looks confusing. And then I was like, oh, wait, you just pick up this and you walk into 2 rooms and then you like pick up the next thing and then you walk into the next room. It's like, this isn't really a puzzle.
Someone's so smart that it's just daddy.
Listen, that's the second part of me saying how easy it was only because I said, yeah, it wasn't really a puzzle, it was easy. And then your face, I was like, this is either Dillin who's going to chastise me for the fact that they have difficulty, or it's because they also found it easy. So then I stopped and I gave it a pause for you to chime in, and you didn't. So I was like, okay, they also thought it was easy. I mean, I'm going to go in on how easy these fucking puzzles are. Yeah, the puzzles were fine. We're talking about the colored room talisman things, right?
Yeah. The one where you like have to step on the...
And it's like, for some reason... So it's... The puzzle for people who aren't playing the games and are just listening, Sloan, are...
Sloan is now the de facto listener. We don't talk to the listeners anymore. We only talk to Sloan.
Everyone who's listening, your name is Sloan.
This is a conversation between Robin, me, and Sloan. And anyone else...
How did you get into our Discord messages? That's crazy. This is just what we're sending Sloan. No, just because Sloan's not playing the games, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so this is specifically to the people who aren't playing the games. So the puzzle is I also actually got a message from Sloan about this show the other day, just to put a side tangent on, and I sent it to you, Dillin, but I think it'd be funny to like out this message.
Oh, you have to. You must.
I got a message from Sloan, completely unprompted. Sloan and I don't talk that often in DMs, but it was literally, God, what did it say? You talk about nutting so much.
So much. Because you tried to gaslight me last time. You made a disgusting comment about creaming your drawers, which is just like the most British way to say something disgusting. And I chastised you for it because I'm sick of you pretending that...
I don't do it on call for media that we're producing. So Sloan saying it is like, well, yeah, it's because Sloan sees me in green rooms with my friends when I continuously talk about busting through denim.
It's so often that you bring it up.
I know, it's funny.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
puzzles.
Anyway, so it's like there are rooms that are color coordinated to like, this door can only be opened with a black talisman, and this door can only be opened with a blue talisman. You pick up, at the beginning, you can start with a white or a black, and there's like a mixing station there. You open up doors, you then pick up other talismans, and then you have to, at 2 points, have to mix 2 colors together to make the color of another room that you're trying to get into. However, if you pick up orange, it closes every room except for orange. I don't know why that happens. Weird puzzle.
This is a very Skyrim-y puzzle. To me, it's
so bad.
So bad. Yeah, it's kind of. But also that I don't like any puzzles in any video game. I just don't like them. Stupid, terrible, hate them.
Often to me, I agree for games that aren't puzzle games and they're just like, this is a dungeon puzzle. It's like, all right, it's just going to be annoying. I'm going to be trapped here for a little bit. My constitution for them are extremely low. I do like puzzles. I will say
that Inquisition has the exception to my puzzle hate.
Oh, fascinating.
We'll get to that in the future.
And then after you do all these talisman things, this is also an optional dungeon. This is after significant story jump. So story things happen. So we're going to have to jump back a little bit. Okay. However, this is to unlock the vault and unlock the big fancy treasure in the middle of the vault. After you do a little puzzle with colors, you then get a picture, and some people in the picture are wearing masks and some people aren't. Then you go outside of the room and you click on, there's a bunch of tiles on the floor, and you click on the tiles of the people who are wearing masks. What's weird is some of the people are facing the other way. which is weird, and that really threw me because I was like, okay, is it like an order? And then it turns out it's not. And I was like, no, okay, I guess I'm just gonna fucking click on all the people with masks. You do that twice, and then there's one tile flipping puzzle, which I hated. So I just googled how to do it. One.
No, that's the worst.
Because I was sick of it. I just couldn't be bothered to do it. Because that thing where you get every single one of them but one, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to figure out how to do this, actually.
Yeah, no, it's the worst.
And then you get some Orlesian armor, which isn't as good as the armor that I got from the Black Emporium, so what is even the point of this?
You went to the Black Emporium. We haven't talked about that. Yeah, that's my favorite guy.
He's cool. Yeah,
I went
to the Black Emporium. I've been to Black Emporium in like every act. Just so the Black Emporium is, you get an invitation to this weird like underground magic shop, basically, of like old cool big gear. You go there, and the shopkeep is a book that's on a skeleton, who speaks to you, and is like, "Welcome to the Black Emporium. I found all these things throughout the realm." And then you go and you pick shit up, and it's like, it's gear that is so stupid good that it's another DLC thing, which makes everything so broken. Every single piece of armor I come across is at least 150 worse armor than what I'm currently wearing. So I genuinely think my Hawk has changed armor twice in this game. Once is when I picked up the first DLC armor, and then this second time this Black Emporium
chest in your house. Yeah.
However, my weapons change a lot. I actually picked up a weapon from here, which looks awesome for one, and is way better than anything else that I have. You do that. However, you do the fancy Orlesian party. You find the key eventually. You break in, and then you have a whole stealth section, which I didn't hate. I actually thought was pretty fun.
Oh, you did the stealth section. Because you don't have to.
Oh, yeah,
you can fight.
Yeah, but I'm sick of fighting in this game. It's so
I know.
dull.
I was wondering that. I was like, because I also chose to do the stealth thing, but I was curious because no. It makes sense. You're burnt out.
I personally am so fucking burnt out on fighting in this game. But then also, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play it like in character, where Hawk is like, I'm in the middle of a manor and I'm basically unarmed. No, I'm not gonna fight everything. That's fucking stupid. This is a heist. Let's get in and get out without anyone knowing that we've been
here. Yeah. It does make sense. Yeah.
I also picked a lot of red with Talus. I don't think Hawk likes Talus very much at all. I was Ash and Talus had a snark off. It was very like, who can be the most I felt like she was actually encroaching on my group of weirdos. You know, like I felt like she was coming in and trying to be the coolest, most special. Yeah, and like, I'm sorry, this is, find another table to sit at. Like, this is my this is my group of freaks. They all think I'm hot and ignore my war crimes. You get out of here.
You gotta get out of here.
I'm so sorry. That's it. Okay. I had to Google who Talus reminds me of, and it is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, because she's the most special, most important person in the whole entire world. Did the stealth section, pretty fun. I didn't hate it. I liked it. That's a fun puzzle, I think. I thought that was interesting and neat. I kind of wish that there was more punishment for failing the stealth section than just going back to the beginning of the stealth section, because there were bits which I did fuck it up at. I'm happy that there's not, because it made me be like, okay, I'm gonna like try to figure this out. But then you are inevitably captured by Duke Prosper. That's like, hey, I know that you're here to steal all my stuff. At the Heart of the Many. And then says, but the Heart of Many isn't a jewel, is it? It's actually a person. and you're here to assassinate them. And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? And it's like, and not only that, Talis, you're not only the coolest, sexiest, most charming, best rogue assassin ever, who's actually like this super like stealthy spy, you're also a Quinari because you're one of everything. And then it's like, whoa, you're a Quinari? What the fuck? And then Cassandra is like, what the fuck? And then it cuts to Cassandra and Varric, and Varric's like, shaved her horns off? I don't fucking know what to tell you. Like, she just is. And it's like, okay. And then it cuts back, and then she's like, well, no, I just joined the Qun. I'm not actually, like, I'm not of the race of Quinari. I am a Qun. Because she's the most interesting girl in the world.
She is. She's the best girl.
And then I went red on her a lot, and I was like, come on, dude, what the fuck? Am I going to die here because you have been lying to me this whole time? What is the point? And she's like, I can't tell you why, but this guy, this Cerebus, has to die. He's an evil guy, but again, I'm not allowed to tell you why he's evil. I'm like, oh my god, come on, dude. I'm in prison. We're going to get executed. Please.
Please just give me anything.
And she doesn't. She still doesn't.
Yeah.
Then one of the guards, pew, 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 another Batman, big cool noises, and then Varric and Bethany walk in. They're like, what's up, losers? We didn't get caught. Here's all your shit. We're opening up the cage. What happened? And it's like, hello, thank you, Varric. I'm sorry I got caught. Our cool, thief mission didn't go very well. You get all the stuff. You fight through a bunch of guys. Then I did all those puzzle little sections. You climb through a cave. And then you... What's up?
No, nothing.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you find the... the right hand of the Duke with the fucking chasnid. What is it called?
It's not. Oh, not the chastened.
Chastened, and the chastened is like has a bunch of mages with him, and is like, yeah, I also don't care about him, but you still need to die. Something, and I was like, okay, and then we fought. and then Felicia Day's character is trapped on the other side of the wall, and she's like, trust me, and then runs away. And as this guy confronts you, she falls from the ceiling and kills 3 different guys, and she's fallen. She's the coolest woman in the world, and she's like, I found another way in. We're all gonna get out together.
Oh my god, it's so amazing.
He's fucking wild. And you fight them all, and you kill him, and then she's like, okay, I still can't tell you why, but we have to go back and we have to kill this Cerebus, who is the heart of the many, because that's what it means in Quinari. We have to go kill him, or I'm going to go kill him, but I'm probably going to fail if I do it on my own. Are you going to come with me? And you have the choice, yes, I'm going to go with you, or no, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And Florence was like, oh, for fuck's sake, yeah, I'm gonna go with you, I guess. Because it's like, I don't like you, but it's like, I mean, you just came and saved us, so I might as well save you back.
Yeah.
Then you go, you fight through a bunch of Talvashoth. You fight another Wyvern. And then after you kill that Wyvern, Florence is like, where the fuck was this guy? Beforehand, we just killed a Wyvern earlier today. Where was this lad? I thought that was funny. You fight a bunch of these little goblins.
Did you kill the Baron at the beginning? In the first Wyvern fight?
In the first bit? Who's the Baron?
He's the guy that confronts you after the Wyvern.
Dillin. We had a whole conversation about this, and you said you couldn't remember it, and you skipped over it. Oh. Baby, I mentioned this to you, and I kept being like, yeah, the guy after the Wyvern. And you were like, no, I think I skipped that.
Oh, because he attacked me.
He doesn't outright... Oh, yeah, he attacks you, yeah, but then you confront him after.
He attacks me because I didn't kill him. He attacks me now, is what I'm saying. Now, so I just, I didn't, Me not killing. Wow. Yeah. So.
You're so special. You're the most perfect person that's ever existed. Literally. Love you so much.
Special I am. So. Yeah, then I had to kill him here.
I killed him back in
I had to kill him on the back end. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thank you.
No, I killed him now. No, I killed him then. Then there was a wyvern. Killed a bunch of Talvashoth. Felicia Day says that there's the reason why she has to kill this person is because if she doesn't, it's going to be really bad for not only all of her people, but everyone in Kirkwall as well. Yeah. She says that the Quinari don't know that she's here, but they didn't say she couldn't come here, so she's technically not going to be Talvashoth if she does this.
Right.
And then hopefully is going to get back in their good graces just by the fact that she's going to save a lot of people's lives. And then you go and then you find that Duke Prosper and this Cerebus are talking to one another and working together in a way. They have a deal where Cerebus gives the Duke a bunch of names, or like a list with a huge amount of names, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? This is completely meaningless to me." Felicia Day sneaks in, she does some backflips, she knocks out a guy without anyone noticing, and then she wears the helmet of one of the people, and then he hands the note to one of his guards, who is now Felicia Day, and she takes it, and she's like, hell yeah. And there's a bunch of cute, fun animations that are all happening in the background that I think is really fun in this scene.
It's really, yeah.
And then, because the Duke is so mad that the scroll was completely pointless, and it wasn't this great weapon that he was promised, he then calls a wyvern that he has been rearing that you see at the party, and then that jumps down, and then that eats the Cerebus and kills him. And then the Duke is like, well, it's time for you all to die as well. And then you have the best fight in, honestly, the series so far.
Ooh.
The second half of this fight is it's like the
it's
first half
it's a good
is
fight.
A lot of people, and it's him, doing shit. But then he jumps. Oh, it's him and the lizard separately, and the wyvern separately, and then they jump onto each other, fucking Kingdom Hearts style. And then there's mechanics where he's shooting things down in a certain order and then jumping away, and you have to remember the order in which he shot them to move and do all these
it's
fun
a well-designed
mechanics.
It is definitely a well-designed fight. It's
fun because I was like, this is the only fight in this game, and maybe it's not the best one in the franchise, but it is definitely the best one.
But
it's the best one in this game, and the fact that this game is so starved of good fights, and we've had 3 good ones in a row with the fight with the Aristoc at the end of Act 2.
Yeah.
Wow, I had the one with the Aristoc at the end of Act 2. Really had a great fun there.
No, it's a great fight. Yeah.
And then the one with the gas was fine, but at least they did something. Even though I didn't really like it, but I appreciate they were doing something. And then this fight was really good because it wasn't just me waiting for my shit to recharge so I could do as much damage as possible.
No, you had a plan, and you had to
okay, I gotta go here and do this, and and then it's he would hit people with his cool weapon, which is he shoots. He shoots goop out of his crossbow, and then the goop draws the wyvern to that person. So he would shoot someone, and then Varric would be watch that person because he's gonna do something, and then you'd have to secure that person away from everyone or draw people. And it was a great fight. It was really fun.
It's a good strategy fight. Yeah,
it's a cool fight. It's a good one. You fight him. He shoots you with the goop. You get close to the edge of the cliff face that you're on, and then the wyvern leaps for you, and then you do a cool duck and roll out the way, and then the wyvern falls off, and then Duke Prosper is hanging by a single hand, and he's like, "Help!" And he's like, "I'm going to get you all killed for this," and I was like, "Well, you're the one dying on the edge of a cliff, idiot." So then I cut his hand off, and he hit every rock on the way down, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then Talus is I've got the thing. Thank you so much for helping me. And I'm like, give it to me.
To me,
oh, and then I'm like, what is the scroll? And she's like, oh, it's the name of every single person that's taken the Qun in, like, everywhere, pretty much.
Like, every convert.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, so you know how my city was just completely sacked by people who have taken the Qun? I really need that list. Actually, it's so important to my city that you give me it. So I got a little red, a little like, hey, do it, because we are not friends. I need you to give me that list. And she's like, no. How about I give you this, though? And then threw me a jewel. And she was like, that was the heart of the many. And I was like, I don't care about this. I want the list of people who are going to try to sack my city. Actually,
who are going to try
give me that.
Gatlock my city to bits.
Please at least tell me the people in Kirkwall, please.
Presently?
Because I need it. And then
I can't look at it for a minute.
Exactly. You can't tell me if there's anyone in, like, the Viscount's fucking group that are part of the Qun.
Are any of these 4 losers on the list?
Yeah, and then she dances away as the coolest kid in the world, and then you go back to thing. Yeah. And then you go back to Kirkwall.
And you just have the heart of the many.
Which is worthless.
Okay. No, I mean it's got a couple of bonuses or whatever.
Oh, is it an actual item?
Yeah, you can like put it on as jewelry, and it gives you something.
Sure,
I haven't,
but it's not a name of people that are going to try to destroy the city that I live in. So the
city is fucked, and there's no this story. This
story is about how Kirkwall is fucked up.
This story is about how Kirkwall is fucked, and now you can do nothing to stop it. And that is the theme. And it is, I mean, I think it is kind of the perfect thing, this DLC, where this game, in Origins, so often it was like, I'm the coolest guy in the world. I'm the best guy in the world. I'm the hero. I'm the hero of Ferelden.
Yeah.
In this game, at the end of Act 2, you're the champion. Kinda. No, it's kind of sarcastic. And it's and then for this DLC to happen, and the coolest person that you meet in this game is not you. And not one of your friends, and not one of your allies, and is just some random fucking person who has nothing to do with anything. And then you do that, and the coolest part, I think though, is that meeting Liliana, finding out that she's a spy, and not just a spy, but a spy for the Chantry. I think that's fucking rad and cool and terrifying. It has implications, and that this city is so fucked, especially there are people who want to destroy this city, and some of them are in they're it's all over the place. So
yeah,
I think it sets some perspective in a really harsh way, that we can't do anything. We're so fucked, and we're so small, and despite the fact that we kill 100 people an hour, we are still the weakest and smallest, and we can't fix the problems in.
And it's every single time we find a solution to a problem, if we knew about it 1 hour prior to knowing it now, we could have done something.
Yeah.
And it's we can literally just never win. It's I need it because this guy has a weapon that's going to kill a bunch of people, including a bunch of people in Kirkwall. And it's wow, that sounds really bad. Okay, I want to save the people in Kirkwall. Oh, hey, by the way, the weapon is a thing that is going to destroy Kirkwall if you don't have it. And it's oh. Man, I wish I knew that earlier, because this fucking sucks for me.
Yeah.
And then she, just in time for her to run away with her 120 base movement speed and invisibility and can teleport, and is the most magical girl in the world.
So fucking cool. Speaking of, let's move into my favorite show on earth.
So, last week, Dillin was like, we have a show that we're going to watch. And I was like, oh, cool. Fascinating. I wonder what show this is. Is it the Netflix one? Dillin was like, no, it's not the Netflix one. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe there's another show, like a special that was on. I was excited about it. And then I was shown a LARP, which is pretty neat. I was shown a fun little LARP that someone filmed starring Felicia Day, where she is once again the coolest, most special girl in the whole entire world.
A live-action web series starring Felicia Day and notable character actors from the
most notable
Whedonverse.
Is Doug Jones.
Yeah,
Doug Jones, who's one of the greatest creature actors of all time. How the fuck they got Doug Jones to be in a Felicia Day-led web series, I will never know. It was clearly a quiet summer when Guillermo del Toro didn't need him.
Who was Doug Jones in that?
He was the guy. He was the Cerebus.
He was the Cerebus.
He was the Quinari in it.
The Cerebus. All right.
Again, one of the greatest creature actors of all time.
So the plot of this is that we're following this, weirdly enough, I think for all of its many flaws and shortcomings, I think weirdly this does clear some of the Kuhn lore up a little bit. Like, in a way that I think we do get delivered to us into, but maybe... I feel like it's not as clear. There's also maybe like I can't tell if it's a contradiction because I don't get the impression that they're forcibly converting people in Kirkwall. I think that the Kuhn is intentionally preying on the fact that Kirkwall treats certain people badly. Like they are involved in a slave trade and they also have city slums and they also, imprison people.
And the Templars are like
are
so
oppressive
incredibly strong and
yeah. So I think that the way that I get this in the games is that most people who are converting to the Kuhn who aren't born into it are doing so because in a similar way to like the Wardens, it's like life is bad otherwise. And so you kind of got this. In the series, in like the title cards, they do like little summaries of things and they kind of set up that they're also forcibly like converting people to the Kuhn.
Sure. This is also, I want to say, yes, this is a web series and yes, I'm going to make fun of it a lot over the next 40 minutes. This is canon as well. This isn't like it's a fan-made like web series. Like
no, this is BioWare.
Like Felicia Day. Yeah, BioWare made. Felicia Day is playing Talus, the character who she plays in Dragon Age 2 in it. It doesn't have a lot of money in it.
The quest that she talks about. Like this is about the quest that she or that she wouldn't talk about.
Yeah, this is like just before Mark of the Assassin hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I think it's just after.
Oh, is it just after?
Because in Mark of the Assassin, she talks about how she needs to... Well...
I said it very confidently, which I do with a lot of things on this show. Whilst also being a little like, is this before or after? I'm not
she talks about needing to take down the Cerebus.
Yeah, but the Cerebus is the guy who hands the scroll to the Duke. That's the Cerebus, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So I thought this was after it.
It's just. I guess it's just two different Cerebus.
Yeah.
That are the point. Okay. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because so this one
I guess.
is about. Oh, so is it just before? Or is it just? I don't know.
I don't know.
It also doesn't mention it in it. But no, this must be after it, because in this, the first scene with her is being the... She's chopping up some meat and people are making fun of her, and then she like does the coolest thing and she like throws an axe to the side of this guy's head, and she's like, "Do you want more of that, baby?" And then beats up these two random dudes.
Yeah.
And in it, she's not Talus, but then a Qunari comes in and then gives her the name Talus on the like temporarily, saying, "You will be Talus in this, but you have to go catch this Cerebus and kill him because he's like doing evil magic shit. Yeah. Go hunt and kill him." And she's like, okay.
And really fleshes out, like, which I think we've gotten a little bit before when we talked to the Arashok in the past, but really cementing that being that the names in the Qun are titles and they describe what you do, not who they're not individual for you. So like there are Arashoks and there are Cerebus's and
there are a lot of Stens as well.
Yeah. And so I forget what her like name is, but at the beginning, but it's like a word that means like just manual laborer, basically. Like she's just like cleaning toilets and chopping meat and stuff. And then and we get a glimpse also of the Chantry prison, where they are, I mean, especially for Dragon Age 2, I think is actually really important, and I wish they showed us this in the game. But they show Templars torturing mages in the prisons under the Chantry. Like, I think we get alluded to that's something that happens, but it never gets like shown to us. But like it's something that like as a theme from Origins and 2 is like it's always so implied and like hinted at that the Templars do bad shit to mages in the Circle Tower, etc. But I really like that the show like actually like shows that to us, that the Templars were doing that. And what?
Here we go. Sorry, here's the background of episode 1 of this. Prior to the events described in the series, Talus has failed a task involving retrieving a priceless item from an Orlesian noble. Surely that's...
Oh, but she didn't retrieve it because she gave it to us.
She didn't give me the thing.
The heart of the thing. Yeah, she did.
Oh, but I mean, yeah, but the heart of the... That's a ploy, though. It's the scroll that she's after, right?
Yeah.
The scroll with all the names. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she technically does get it, because I asked her for it and she said no. This is as a punishment she was cast out of the Ben Hasrath, and the title Talus was taken away from her. She was degraded to Athlock, a worker, and given work at a slaughterhouse in Kirkwall. God, so is this before or after? I have to Google it. Please.
I must know. I really do must know.
I simply have to know. Please continue your beautiful words.
What was I saying? Okay. So we start off in the Chantry prison. We see them torturing mages. The Templars are torturing a mage, particularly an elf mage who looks a little bit older and goofy. And then like a fight is breaking out outside. Clearly the prison is under attack, and a bunch of like people, some elf, some not, barge into the door, and they're followed by a traditional Qunari, like a proper horned Qunari, who comes over and does magic on this man, this elf, to extract his secrets. And they kill all their guards on their way out. Blah blah blah. So now we kind of do a cut over to Talus, who, like Robin said, is chopping up meat and being the coolest lady in the world, and then she's summoned to be Talus again. And then we see her, she's spying from the treetops, and she finds she sees
like a traveling elven merchant getting accosted by
right.
A big brute.
Yeah.
Who has like a bunch of like elven ears around his neck and is going to kill them.
Yeah.
And then she goes to intercept, and then is also met at the exact same time by a Templar. Also, Dragon Age Redemption, whilst releases a tie-in to the Mark of the Assassin DLC for Dragon Age 2, the short series takes place at some point before the end of Dragon Age 2 Act 1. So
before.
It is Redemption, and then it is Mark of the Assassin afterwards.
Cool. Okay.
Nice.
Great.
There you go. We've got
awesome.
it.
Great.
She finds a Templar who they both kind of
they're both after this, yeah.
Whilst also fighting this other guy, which I mean that's one of my favorite genres of fight.
They're being horny at each other the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the most Templar voice ever. He's got to be somebody who voices somewhere in the games. I have to imagine.
Adam Rayner is his name. He's actually not in a lot. He's in Superman and Lois. That's the most recent. I mean, he's in a TV show called Warrior, which is the most recent thing he's in, but then he's also in Superman and Lois. As well as really like 5-10 things before Dragon Age Redemption. He plays a character in the Agatha Christie episode of Doctor Who. He's a guy in that. He plays Roger Kirbishley, sorry, not Robert. Roger Kirbishley. And then, one-off things. Really nothing.
Wow, so interesting. I found him to be really good. I thought he did a great job for this. And he just has the voice.
He is the Templar voice. He has that kind of,
he has the Templar voice. And he looks like if Zach Braff was handsome.
Jesus Christ. Get his ass. Kill him right now. Shot dead on the podcast. Zach Braff found dead in the halls of Dorkspawn. Killed immediately whilst happily going about his day. Holy shit.
He
shot
should never.
with a full-sized Adam Rayner from the show Dragon Age Redemption.
Zach Braff is so happy that Adam Rayner didn't decide to pursue a full-time career in movies. Zach Braff.
That's why Adam Rayner is not in a lot, because Zach Braff is holding him back. It's a conspiracy. This shit goes all the way to the top, baby.
All the way to the middle is what I should say.
It goes all the way to a stumbling career after Scrubs. Well, Adam Rayner is there as Kieran in his full foam LARP gear plate mail.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very horny with one another. Talus ends up killing this random guy who was accosting this merchant.
Played by fabulous character actor whose name that I don't know, but who is in everything.
The guy who goes to kill the merchant?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's like all over the place. He's in stuff. He shows up.
I'm sure. He's in stuff.
He's around.
Okay. I'm checking up on him.
He was in Dollhouse. I know that.
Oh, God.
I think he also appeared as a baddie in Buffy.
All right.
And I'm pretty sure I saw him as bad. I think he did a lot of those Monster of the Week era shows.
Oh, it might be Greg Collins. Is it Greg Collins?
Let me see. I'll tell you in a second.
As Brom?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Greg Collins as Brom?
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you this because he is actually in. He's around. He worked fairly regularly till 2020.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So they both fight over who gets to apprehend this guy, but Felicia Day's Talis character takes him aside and decides to take it upon herself to kill him, as the Templars and they have like a bantery, like they're not getting along because they have different goals or whatever. The Templar wants to find the Cerebos to bring it back to the Chantry, and Talis needs to bring back the Cerebos to the Qun. And these are their two missions, and they're opposed basically just seemingly in terms of just where they need to bring the guy. Is really all it is. And so the next place they like kind of decide that they can't work together initially, and then they're like going to the next place. And the next place is a elvish Aravel, which is like a Dalish traveling camp. And they arriving there, it's already too late. It's been attacked, and several people have been killed, and the Aravels have been destroyed, and people are missing. Notably, the keeper of this clan and the woman that they're going
to marry,
betrothed
and they're very in love
to the first of the keep. Which this is an interesting thing, because this little factoid is a divergence from the canon, in that the arranged marriages are not a thing that we ever encounter in Dalish culture, but for some reason it gets shoehorned into this in a weird way, and so I'm not accepting that part of this as canon.
Yeah. The canon of this is it truly is to be. It's like it's just up to whoever.
It's to taste for sure.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah. But we do meet the first to the keeper, this like kind of 20-year-old kid who is not like supposed to take over for the keeper. The keeper's missing. He meets Talis, and
Josmel is his name.
Josmel, yeah. And Talis,
Sam Holden is the actor.
And he comes in with an Emmy award-winning performance. Absolute stunner.
All day. You want to see more of this? Why don't you check out Me, Earl and the Dying Girl? He plays Ill Phil.
Hell yeah, Ill Phil.
Yeah.
God, is that it? Does he?
No, he's on one episode of Grey's Anatomy. He has one episode of Criminal Minds under his belt.
Well, whatever. I think that he fucking crushed it. I think that he killed. He really did. He brought everything to this, and
he's in the Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn TV miniseries. He plays Michael Sullivan.
Great.
There you go.
So he's betrothed to one of the elves that were taken. So the elves that were taken were the keeper and this young girl that he's supposed to marry. And so he's like, she's the love of my life. I have to go after her at my duty or whatever. And Talis is kind of like being to him in a way that is sexy somehow, and is like, yeah, it was your duty to protect them, but you didn't. Haha. But we also learned that the purpose of them coming here was to steal an ancient artifact of Fenarel, described as the god of nightmares in this, which I think that's not what he's known to be the god of, but I think that they like kind of include it in his canon overall in the story.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, because let me not get this wrong. Yeah. Okay. So he is Okay, I'm right. He's fully not the god of nightmares. He is in the canon. He's the god of tricksters, the great wolf, he who hunts alone, roamer of the beyond, the old wolf, god of betrayal or rebellion. Not at all nightmares, except for in this one little side story. So whatever. Mask of Fenrel, which is a wolf mask, so that part is accurate. That got stolen by the Cerebus for some nefarious reason, and so she's after him. They're not agreeing to help this kid, but he insists on coming with them because, you know, it's his girl and whatever. And so they what?
You go.
I was just
well, it's just the Templar is like, I can't trust you. I'm not going to do it. You're an apostate. I must bring you in. And he's like, whoa, I can heal people. And then Felicia Day is like, oh yeah, prove it. And then there's a fucking cool badass thing, and it throws a knife in his chest, and she's like, heal it. And if you die, then you weren't a very good healer, and if you live, then yeah, we'll take you along. And then he heals himself with a Windows Movie Maker effect. And he comes back, and it's like, whoa, she's so like badass and edgy and crazy cool. I love this chick.
Yeah, but the Templar wants to kill and arrest him the whole time.
Yeah. Which is fun. I will be honest.
I think it's fun.
I like seeing the Dragon Age world not in video game form where you are the most important person, and it doesn't matter that you have a mage with you as and you're like talking to the most mage hating man in the world. He's gonna be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
He was kind of like, I do want to kill you, and
he's like, I actually want you dead.
Evil,
and then there was conversation with it, which I thought was fun. So I'll give it something.
So they follow leads into. I mean, some stuff is silly. That tavern thing didn't need to happen.
That's stupid.
But they eventually find a cavern where they know that the Cerebus and the Cerebus's people have gone and gathered, and they gather outside, and they're all talking. And wait, am I misremembering the order of things? No,
it's Danish camp. They go inside of a cave because they confront the guy.
The cave happens next. Yeah.
And then you meet Karlach.
And that's what, yes. Yes, exactly. Oh my God. It's so exactly that. So we go in and they go and ambush them in the cave. And they cut the girl just like for a little bit of blood and start this ritual. And our 20-year-old keeper apprentice gets all nervous and he screams. And the fight breaks out. And they like our team loses the fight basically. The Cerebus and most of those people get away. They take the girl. They leave a cave in behind them. The only exception is that one of their fighters, who we learn is a sword for hire. So luckily, she's not a member of the Qun. She's not a believer. She's a hired sword. Is left behind with them, and they're able to kind of pay her and bully her into being on their side. And she's awesome. She's cool. She's
Nuri.
Yeah.
Played by Marcia Battis.
Yeah.
Who is in truly nothing outside of this.
Wild. She
Nightwalkers, which is a short that came out. She was the casting director for a movie called I Remember You. She was in a movie called 100,000 Zombie Heads in 2012, which is a 3.5 out of 10 on IMDb. And that's pretty much it. She's in a lot of shorts. She did an art dealer in a movie which doesn't have a picture called Territory. She's in a music video. Yeah, man. She's really in nothing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, she ruled in this. She plays a Reaver, and they like really kind of they kind of describe the Reaver, which is a class that we've encountered before, but she really the show kind of defines it almost like a little bit of a ritualistic magic almost, where you're like absorbing power from the blood, and
it makes it seem like it's blood magic, but it's a warrior's version of it. And I thought, it's interesting. They make it more interesting than the game does. And this is it's another light. I've talked about it before, of just like how in Origins I felt like picking a specialization had some weight to it, because you had to speak to someone about it and you had to like get it from them, or you had to do a little quest about whatever it was. But in 2, it just says the word Reaver, and I clicked on it because I was like, yeah, sure, I don't want to be the defender one. And then in this, it's like, by the way, this is what Reavers do. And I'm like, oh, that's cool and interesting, actually. That's really fun that's what my Florence is.
She grows fanged teeth when she rages. Yeah. It's like, she's got like a very, it's cool. So she decides to come with them. They continue on this journey. They've got, Talus has a collar that will
nullify magic.
Restrain and stop the Cerebus from casting magic. And the Templar has the Cerebus's phylactery, which is like full of his blood. But in the cave fight, it smashes on the ground and he no longer has that and he's useless. So now they go continue on. They for some reason get attacked in a tavern.
But in this tavern, very important, Nuri, our cool Reaver, says that she worked with Cassandra. In the
because
Chantry.
She's from Navarra, which is where the dragon hunters are from. And she specifically says she hunted dragons alongside Cassandra.
Pretty cool.
Fucking cool. Cool as shit. Love that. Yeah. And then everybody's cool, and then they go to try to disrupt this ritual as they're staking out the ritual, which is like, I mean, it does kind of look pretty cool. They take like this wolf mask and they put it on a wolf, a Fenrirel statue. This is supposed to be taking place in like the area of Sundermount. So, which, I mean, it looks kind of good.
It looks like Sundermount. It's very green, which to me,
it has
Sundermount
too much
is
grass
not.
for sure.
Yeah. But it's neat that it's in Sundermount. Yeah.
And so they put it on the wolf statue, and then they're gonna kill,
tear the veil apart, and
do whatever. It's Fenrirel, so it must be something to do with tearing down the veil.
I'm sure. But at this point, Talus and Kayron have fallen in love.
Yeah, they kiss each other on the mouth.
They kiss dramatically.
Yeah.
And then they go and fight. It's important that this happens because they kiss, they find out that they love each other, and they run and they do a big dramatic fight.
Yes.
And then as our evil villain, our evil Sarabas, goes to attack Talus, then Kayron jumps in front of the way and he's like, no! And then he dies. He gets electrocuted and deceases.
Well, and before that happens, our little keeper apprentice,
oh my god, I completely forgot this happened beforehand.
Runs in to save his girlfriend, and his girlfriend alerts the Cerebus and is like, Cerebus, they're here. And even though he did run fully into the center of the ritual, it's the blocking could have taken another pass.
They had 2 days to film this. You can't, because she's also like, because he this whole time has been like, oh, she's the love of my life and we love each other and it's like, I need to find her. And then when he finds her, she's like, yeah, I am just like the person you need to save. I'm just like the person you're going to marry. You don't actually know who I am and we don't know each other.
I don't have a purpose until I met these people. Yeah.
And then she goes to stab him and then he stabs her first.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then what you said does happen immediately after that, where he jumps in front of a laser beam meant for Talus, and he dies instead, despite his Templar armor. And they fight, they tussle. It's so sad, but then she does get the collar on him. And the big moment is that she gets the collar on him. He can't cast magic. The spell is canceled. It's all done, and he's on his knees, and he's given sort of a cocky villain speech, or whatever.
Yeah. And
she's supposed to return him, or she'll be Talvashoth if she fails this. We had learned that the Templar, although he was supposed to bring it back to the Chantry, he planned on killing him too.
Because he killed his whole family.
He killed his whole family. The Cerebos gives a very interesting speech about how he did all these evil things because he could, and that's the only reason. Just like, it's very much in keeping with the Dragon Age, like, we treat mages bad, and that seems bad, but everyone who gets access to magic will inevitably become the most evil person in the world, except for these 3 people that you know personally.
Yeah.
And that's it. Everyone else who has magic will do evil. And it's so interesting. But yeah, it's a funny little end speech. But then she does decide to kill him, meaning that she will not be able to go back and just resume life with the Qun.
So then, surely, then what she does immediately after is then go back to Kirkwall, get fucking Hawk to join her to try and get this big weapon because she's trying to redeem herself in some way, and that's and she's
that's
like, I'm trying to redeem myself, and it's because she just killed this one Cerebos, and now she's after another one to be like, I did it though. Look, here's the name of all these people.
A Cerebos.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess that's it.
Under the cast and crew of the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Felicia Day plays Tallis, describes her character as headstrong and sarcastic, saying she wanted to bring a modern sensibility to the role. BioWare co-founder Greg Zischuk said that the studio was excited to work with someone with as much passion for the games as Day has. Doug Jones, who is known for the makeup-heavy roles such as Fawn in Pan's Labyrinth, Abe in Hellboy, makes his appearance as Cerebos, and he describes his character as the main antagonist. Scroll down to cast and crew and it's right there.
Where did you send it? Where?
I sent it in general, babe.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god, I can't breathe.
Read it out for the class. We can't have this much data.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Felicia Day plays Tallis, describes her character as headstrong and sarcastic. She wanted to bring a modern sensibility to the role. Doug Jones, who is known for makeup-heavy roles such as the Fawn in Pan's Labyrinth or Abe Sapien in Hellboy, makes an appearance as Cerebos. He describes his character as the main antagonist. You know what my favorite part about this is? The Templar Cairn is played by an English-American actor, Adam Rayner. The British actress Marcia Batiste plays Navarran mercenary Nairi. And the Elven mage Joss Mail is played by an American actor, Massam Holden. We didn't need to include quotes for everyone. Not everyone needed to include a quote. Saying it was unnecessary to say that Doug Jones says
as the bad guy.
Main antagonist.
So what is your character in this? He's the bad guy, I guess. I don't know.
My God, nothing has ever been as good as that. Greg Narowitz is responsible for special effects, props, and makeup. The series is directed by Peter Winter, whose previous works include production duties on Independence Day and Stargate.
And he directed a few episodes of the TV show Leverage.
I don't know what that is.
Lost
yes.
John Bartley is the cinematographer. It's fun, isn't it? I knew you'd like that.
I laughed so hard at that I feel like I could have thrown up. Like, I was this close. That is so funny.
Especially after the first paragraph.
The first paragraph.
We're so excited to work with someone that has as much passion for the games as Day has. Felicia Day describes the character sarcastic, headstrong. I wanted to bring modern sensibility to the role. Doug Jones says he's the bad guy.
I'm the antagonist. It's crazy that they got him to show up at all. The fact that they even asked him for a quote, like, shut your mouths, like,
shut up,
like,
don't ask too much, you're going to scare him off.
Don't ask too much. You got Doug Jones to show up for a web series about a bad game in a niche video game series. The forgotten middle child in
the only one without a title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not ask him for a quote.
Do you know what's fucking crazy?
What?
He was in 6 things in 2011.
Oh my
god. Something called Absentia. Don't know what that is. The Tomorrow Machine. It's Alive. End of the Road. All of these things. I'm sure they're fine. He was in a thing called Fallout Nuka Break, which is a TV series. It's an animated TV... Oh, no, it's not animated. It's another Fallout-based fan-made web series.
Wow.
He was in Dragon Age Redemption, and he was in 4 episodes of The Guild. What the fuck was he doing in 2011?
Yeah, I guess
crazy.
That makes sense as to why this happened.
Why he's
It must have
now.
been because he was on The Guild, yeah. Doug Jones. What an interesting creature you are.
Yeah. Well, again, arguably the greatest monster actor ever. And in 2011, I guess he had a really shit year.
In 2011, I think he was just like, hanging out. He was just doing...
You know what? Yeah, sure. I went overly negative with it. I mean, Hellboy was in fucking 2004. Hellboy 2 was in 2008.
Pan's Labyrinth was in what, 2008 or 9?
2006. Bang on. Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth 2006. He's in Legion in 2010. He's just in the man just works. Jesus Christ. In 2010, he was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different things in 2010. 12 things released that he was in.
That's
Jesus Christ.
The work ethic is unsustainable.
Completely unsustainable. I mean, yeah, he has 173 credits.
Jesus, man.
And also, of those 173 credits, those are just shows that he's worked on. Because he is in 60 episodes of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's in a lot of TV. It's not like this 173 are just like it. Those are separate individual projects. 2017, it was Shape of Water. So that was, I believe, probably his biggest thing past... past the Oh, he's in Crimson Peak, I guess. He was in a few minor roles in Teen Wolf. Didn't know that. One episode of Teen Wolf.
What is Felicia Day up to now?
She has just released
because I know she's written a couple books.
She's just released an audiobook. Okay. I know One sec. Let me re-find her.
I'm wondering, is she, because we know that Geek and Sundry is back. Is she, do we know if she's a part of it?
I can't
This is fully, I'm just gossiping now. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I just need to talk to you all the time. No, she's just released like a pretty extensive audio book series that she wrote. I know that she's
fun.
She's 4 episodes in a podcast series called Dungeon Masters. She was on a Rhett and Link TV show. She's on something called Tim Travers and the Time Traveler's Paradox. Rhett and Link, they have the morning, mythical morning or whatever.
I just can't believe I lost so much touch
Time.
with them that
she's in Guild Wars 2. She was in Stray Gods, which is a huge game that came out last year. I say huge game. It's a very popular indie title that came out last year.
Guild Wars 2 is obviously huge. That was one of my obsessions.
Oh, God, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot that you were into Guild Wars.
Big. My Guild Wars thing was worse than my Warcraft phase.
You into Warcraft? Were you? Jeez. Man, how the fact that I haven't really solidly gotten you into 14 yet is genuinely upsetting to me.
I can be into 14. I want you to play it with me. That's the thing. But I'm into it. Yeah.
She's doing shit all the time. She had a kid a couple years ago. I know that.
Yeah.
God. I'm so she because she was on My Brother and Me for a thing that she was doing, a show like recently for a show that she was doing. She's on 20-Sided Tavern, or was on 20-Sided Tavern September 19th to 24th.
Yeah, she's part of the lineup of guests.
She's just stopped doing that little run. She had a fucking a audiobook thing that she wrote. Honestly, though, I know we've said it like a few times. She does have the life that she has the goal.
Oh
yeah, you know, it's like how is it not the dream to be like one of the most important people on the internet, especially in nerd spaces, for a few years, and then is a special guest consistently and shit, and also is just like she has a kid and a husband and like dogs,
right?
And
she's
is
living
now,
kind of relatively unbothered,
getting flown out to places and writing her own stuff, and then just doing projects that she wants because she can call on. It's the same because I know that on the show that she made, it's got like Patton Oswalt, who is another one of those types of nerd creators that that is a general like nerd person who you can get in on anything slightly nerdy. And I know that Nathan Fillion's on the show that she wrote because again he's like that kind of same thing. She's just grabbed everyone doing that type of shit. I'm scrolling through her Instagram trying to find stuff.
The B-side like show that they did about Dr. Horrible.
You know what? No, I didn't. That's crazy. That's another thing that of course she did. Which is a thing that not a lot of people would know about nowadays. Like if they weren't in the space at the time, but that was
a huge moment in time.
It came back on TikTok for a bit because that one song that's the best. I say the best song in it. Dr. Horrible's really good.
It's very good. It's a strong show.
Yeah.
But in that B-side thing, I hadn't listened to that for a while, but I was listening to it not terribly too long ago, where they all kind of revisit the show and do like essentially a roast of Joss Whedon the entire time, which I think is really fun. Where apparently Felicia Day had to bully him into giving her character a song because her character had only ever had a few lines in Dr. Horrible and
the
Nathan
Fillion character who's
Hammer.
Yeah.
Dr. Hammer, that's it. Yeah,
Dr. Hammer,
in their or Mr. Hammer, whatever, something Hammer.
Yeah, it's not Dr. Hammer. Captain Hammer.
Captain Hammer, thank you. In their rival song, she has like a couple of lines or something. And so she was like, no, this character needs a fucking song. She's, yeah. Which I think is really funny because I think that I could go on and on about this, but I think it's very funny that she had to do that because if she had not, then like the entire thesis of his own show is just something that he
fucking sucks.
Also does. Like that's just what he's like. Apparently.
We hate him. What an awful man.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm trying to find her show. You would have assumed her like audiobook. You would have assumed that it would be, audio drama. There we go. Third Eye is what it's called.
Cool.
It's got Sean Astin, Felicia Day, Neil Gaiman, Lily Pichu, Will Wheaton obviously is in it.
Whoa. Dang.
Someone has listed it incorrectly on Audible because when I clicked full cast, it just took me to a link of people who have also tagged things full cast.
That's funny.
Stupid. So she does that now. I mean, that's a book that she wrote and then decided to make an Audible like drama.
Oh, like a fully voice acted audio drama.
A fully voice acted audio drama from a book that she wrote. How is that not the life?
That's rad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
Good
7
job,
hours
Felicia.
long. It's got 4.8 out of 5 stars. Pretty fucking strong. 133 ratings.
Yeah. Well done, babe.
The 2024 Audie Award winner for audio drama. Yeah. Troy Baker's in it. Harvey Gillian's in it. Weird Al Yankovic. Phil Lamar.
Wow.
Alan Tyduck. A lot of names that I'm sure matter to people, but I don't really know them.
Did you call Alan Tudyk Alan Tyduck?
Alan Tyduck, I did.
I really like that. I
have a feeling that was off of a joke that someone said, but it ingrained itself hard into my head. That Danny Pudi's in it.
Nice. Wow. Jesus.
In her audio drama. Isn't that crazy? Amy Okuda, who's also in the Guild as one of the leads in the Guild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Janet Varney.
Wow.
Sean Glambrone. God, it's just the names just keep going of people that are in her shit. Damn. She made a kingdom and she just keeps on growing.
She just gets to live in it.
She's just living her best.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The most blessed life you could.
I'm genuinely so happy for her.
Yeah,
it's
truly
obscene. And
I'm sure she has more money
Felicia,
than God, and it's just the best shit ever.
Please message me. Please.
Come on the show, Felicia. Let's talk about it.
You don't have to come on the show.
No, come on the show. Let's talk about it. You love Dragon Age.
You don't have to come on the show. Just give us a key to your... Give us a key to your
Replace
kingdom.
Dillin, because Dylan's clearly too nervous that if you come on the show, Dillin wouldn't know how to act.
That's a misread big time.
Oh, interesting. Tell me about the real situation then. What's happening?
No,
You just don't need her to be on the show.
I don't need her to be on the show. I don't need our territory to be part of the kingdom. I just need us to have access to the kingdom. I don't need...
We have access by inviting her on. She can do one episode. I would love to talk about... Imagine Felicia Day coming on the show and we talk about Dragon Age together. That would be crazy. It's just you and me. We have one guest. The show's been on for 3 years, and it's Felicia Day, who came on 2 years ago after we spent a whole episode being like, yeah, do you know how you put your fucking OC into the video game? Let's talk about it.
It's gonna happen. This could happen. She could talk to us about it.
Are you kidding? I tell you what, if BioWare fucking came to us and was like, hey gang, we want to put fucking Valeria and Quentin into just as an offhanded reference into the Veilgaurd. And you two want to voice it. And it won't be the Felicia Day DLC thing at all. It would just be like, we'll just be someone who you can talk to, and they'll just have a conversation of two people that just like adventure together. There's a dwarf who is there, and that would be the coolest shit in the fucking world to do that.
I don't think you understand. I have intentional lucid dreams about exactly that happening, and I have.
Here's a fun thing. Yeah. We only have 2 characters at the minute. I know that you have a million, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
BioWare comes to us, and they're like, both of you can pick one character that you have made that you've talked about on Dorkspawn to be in the Veilgaurd DLC. Who are you picking? Are you going to pick Ash? Are you going to pick Valeria? Now, Valeria is dead.
Valeria, for sure. Yeah. Valeria is dead.
Well, but also it's like, well, obviously this isn't canon because it's the Veilgaurd, so it's like Valeria isn't the Grey Warden who dies in like sacrificing the whole thing.
Right, it's like Valeria the dwarf who was arrested and
it's like also like Quentin would also be a Grey Warden, but it's like they would both be Grey Wardens who are just like in Weissout, and they're two people that you can walk and come across.
Yeah, like they're in an alternate universe.
It's not even like you click on them and then it's a full cutscene. You can click on them and they'll say something.
Would not be our Hawks. They would be like
people who are in
just other
Kirkwall.
Lothering refugees who made it into
from
Kirkwall.
Who like, but they you have to take out the world.
You're not
state
the champion.
Canon. You're not the champion, but you're someone who fought there, and you're very good friends with Fenris, or you're very good friends with Anders, and like Anders would. It's like the three of you are talking with each other or whatever. Because I would bring Quentin. I'm pretty sure. I think so far Quentin is like my ride or die. I think having my like arcane warrior, blood mage, Grey Warden in Weissout that you can like overhear him talking to someone would be the coolest thing in the world.
I would pick Ash. I think I would pick Ash.
Cool.
It's I didn't think I would at first, but I think so. I think that she would have funny shit to say, and she would be very sarcastic at you and quippy, and she would be she would fill the Felicia Day role
so seriously. And just would not be able to give it back because he's the most serious person that's ever existed.
Yep.
That's fun. I have a fun idea of who I'm being for Inquisition. Over this past week because I realized that Florence and Quentin are very similar, where they start very dark and then they kind of like, they start bad and then they kind of get a bit better. And my Inquisitor is different in a fun way.
I know exactly who I'm going to be for Inquisition. I can't wait.
That's neat. I love that. I was all excited to be a dwarf, but I'm not going to be, which is a shame. Which means that I might be a dwarf for the Veilgaurd, or I want to be a mage for the Veilgaurd, because I want to be a mage again, man. I'm getting
You're not going to be a mage in Inquisition.
Nope.
I thought you were.
No, I want to be... I'm going to do these three to be one of each. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be a rogue. I'm going to be an archer.
Because you did it. Yeah, okay. You did a mage. Yeah.
Because I've done a mage. And it's like, the thing is like, if I wasn't holding myself to that, I'd be a mage in every single game. And it's like, I kind of want to mix it up.
I get that. Yeah.
Which is a shame because now I've been human. I was an elf. I would be a dwarf in Inquisition if I could romance who I know I'm going to romance, but I can't. And in the Veilgaurd, I would be a dwarf, but I can't be a mage if I'm a dwarf, so then I can't be a dwarf because I want to be a mage, and it's just fucking annoying.
Yeah. No, I getcha.
Yeah.
Well,
what a game. All right. We're doing it. Hey, listen, next week, we are going to be playing Act 3. We're going to have closed the game out next week.
Yeah.
And then week after next, we're doing Inquisition, baby.
I'm so excited for the ending of this game. So jazzed. I'm like, so much happens in the ending of this game. And then everything like escalates so much more even into Inquisition. So I'm just so excited. And I'm really ready for more of this. So we're almost done. Happy Dragon Age 2. We're doing it.
Yeah.
So
idiots.
You fucking scum.
You fucking useless piles of mulch. you OC having inserting idiots.
Sarah boss. You Dorkspawn.
You Dorkspawn. Let me tell you this, Dorkspawn. Your suffering.
Struggles.
Oh, shit. Do it again. Shut up. Do it again.
Your struggles.
Fuck. Your struggles.
Your struggles have only just begun.
I'm gonna fucking eat my own head.